Hi everyone, David here with you. Finally picking up some videos here from my last trip. As you've probably seen my other video or a post I put up on across the various channels. I was out in Las Vegas for the NAB Show, National Association of Broadcasters show, which is a big broadcast technology convention in Las Vegas. And while I was there, ironically, at the same weekend was WWE WrestleMania weekend. As you probably heard in my last video, I'm not a big wrestling fan. However, I decided to check out some of the events out there. And thanks to what I'm about to talk about, Delta's same day standby policies, I was able to get there early, and I went to WrestleMania day one, Saturday night, at Allegiant Stadium, which was pretty cool, actually, I have to say. However, this video is all about, as I mentioned in the previous video, one of the previous videos announcing my trip out there, said I was going to test Delta's same day standby policy. Delta has two same day flight change options. We'll call them options. One is you could stand by on an earlier flight, or if you're a gold or higher medallion member, a later flight. However, that's it's risky. I'll try to explain here. To wait for a standby for a later flight after your original flight. So I was planning to do that because Delta also has the same day confirmed flight change option, which allows you to get a confirmed ticket, make a change on the same day within 24 hours of the first flight, and get a confirmed ticket on a different flight on that same day. However, it requires the fare class that you purchased the original ticket in to be available still on that day, which if you purchase early, like I did, more than 30 days before departure date, it becomes tough to find a ticket with that lower fare, cheaper fare class at the time available later. Now, fare class codes, if you're not familiar, they're letter codes like N, A, B, and we're going to see Y here. The Y fare, which Y fare historically industry wise in the airline industry here in the United States is the most expensive economy class ticket you can get. It's usually the last minute ticket, and surprisingly, my same day standby strategy did not work. I ended up getting same day confirmed instead, which was better. So let's start out first here. First, book a ticket early, kind of far out. I recommend checking in every once in a while to see if the price changed, because in my case, the price actually dropped 1 or 2 weeks later, and it dropped for an earlier flight because I wanted to get there earlier to make it into to see some of the WWE WrestleMania events and other independent wrestling events going on that week on the Las Vegas Strip. So my flight, original flight, was going through Salt Lake City. Well, actually, yeah, Salt Lake City, I believe, and I wasn't getting there until like 11 p.m. And then I checked again and found this flight here, getting in at 6:27 p.m. through Atlanta earlier, and for lower cost. Actually, I use miles here to purchase a ticket, and less miles get redeposited, so I booked that. So that was nice. So something to keep an eye out when you have a ticket, because flight changes on Delta and most of the airlines now are no cost. There's no change fee. So even if you purchase this with with dollars instead of miles, you will get that money refunded to you. So something to keep an eye out for. And it doesn't always happen, obviously. Usually as you get closer to the date of departure, the ticket price goes up. In this case, it didn't. So got it cheaper, save some miles there. And that. Fast forward, it's now Saturday, April 18th, and I was up and driving home that day from another location. The check-in time is at 1 o'clock. Obviously, you can see on the last departure time there 24 hours before. Logged into Delta.com, went to check, and end up seeing that had some same day confirmed available, no, and not same day standby. In a lot of cases, what I've seen online, you can read online, you'll see that same day standby. Usually, you have to call Delta to do a same day standby, to get on a standby list for same day standby. This case, first one that comes up is actually a flight through Austin, which would have been an interesting connection. I've never been there, and gets in earlier, 4:24 p.m. So I was like, okay, that's nice. However, continue on the list, and I found this flight, same day confirmed. Same day confirms, usually $75 fee, no charge for gold medallion or higher, which I'm a Delta gold medallion this year, so no cost. But if you're a silver medallion or regular Sky Miles member, or even not a Sky Miles member, however, I recommend you always sign up for the airline mileage programs. There's benefits that you automatically get by just signing up. Make sure you do that. And got this flight getting at 12:06 p.m., which is great. Get there midday so I can go see some of the events that day. Departing at 7, heading through Salt Lake City, and like great. I'm booking that one, making that change quick, as you see. Made that change. Also finding some nice aircraft. Airbus A321neo Delta, probably maybe their best plane cabin quality wise in the fleet. It's got lots of comfort. Used to be Comfort Plus, now it's called Comfort. Class seats, which are as pretty much premium economy, you could call it, or economy with more legroom, and offer you a little more snacks on the flight compared to regular main cabin, which Delta calls the economy class main cabin, and also on the 737-900, which is another nice plane. I like those cabins a little better because they don't have a lot of missing windows in some seats, which you got to be careful. If you like window seats like me, some of the planes, actually all the planes have at least one row with no window on that row, so there is no window seat, and that's there's one plane that's potentially the worst plane for that, and it's the regular A321. But the A321neo is great, has a lot of economy. I will say economy plus at United. Sorry about that. I'm talking about Delta here, but you'll be opposed about United coming up later, obviously with the vinyl record, 100 years. I got one, and I got another one. I'll be giving that away, so stay tuned for that. So here we got the A321neo, and they finally, and in relation to United. United has a lot of planes have a lot of economy plus seats, which is nice. But Delta finally caught on and added a bunch into the A321neo, and that's nice because then none of those comfort seats have a missing window in any of the rows, which is nice. On the A321, if I'm thinking right, there's 2 rows with no window. One is an exit door window, which is a really tiny window, so it kind of is difficult to sit in comfort on that plane for me, because there's a good chance that I won't get a window seat technically, even if I'm sitting on the windows, side of the plane. So not my favorite plane. 321neo, nice plane. 737-900, good plane. Got that through Salt Lake City, which is, in my opinion, a really nice airport. They have a brand new Delta Sky Club there, which you've seen my short video I put out about my first day, which was almost 24-hour day. There through Orlando, Salt Lake City, and Las Vegas. Brand new Delta Sky Club came out, I believe, in October of last year. Got to see that. The Sky Clubs are pretty nice, Salt Lake City. So if you're there, check them out. And the airport's pretty nice. Terminal's pretty wide open. Decent seating there. So got to go there. So I'm like, okay, great. Got that. I booked that. Seat's $0 for change. You don't get the assigned seat until after booking. Actually, here it says check-in on the screen. However, if there's a seat available on the seat map, they'll assign you to that seat. You can change it Usually after you get assigned, however, on the second flight from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas, there were no seats available according to the seat map. However, there was some 24 plus seats, or actually 24 exactly, I believe, seats available, and you'll get to see here coming up that I would be number one on that list. However, here it is confirmed, and but it's changed. What you'll see, interestingly, here is that I believe my ticket was like a N, or actually it was V, I believe. I won't talk about the fare classes and the hierarchy right now. Probably in another video, maybe going over that. But however, depending on where you're on the ranking, there's a good website out there. I think it's cswi.net, which has a pretty decent, the only list I've seen out there that has the rankings of the fare classes on Delta. Then my V class fare is pretty low on that list. However, you can see I'm now confirmed ticket in Y class fare, which I mentioned earlier. Y class is the highest economy fare class available, other than once you go into comfort, which has I believe a S and a W, but S definitely, which you'll see a lot of S sold. So I got a Y class fare, which is the top of the line fare class, and that ranks you higher on the list of things like standby upgrades than everyone else. So it was interesting. But I as you heard me mention earlier, the policy is that you have the same fare class available to be able to book or make a same day confirm change. In my case, that I wanted to double check is that this Y class ticket the only one available at the time. And here's a standby list real quick. You can see I'm number one on the second flight that don't have a seat assigned yet, and I got the seat assigned once I got pretty much like about 50 minutes or so before departure time, and they actually moved me up 2 times, changed my seat twice. They had a seat on the last row, which I actually didn't mind. Sometimes it's kind of weird sitting more up front of the plane because they don't get to walk the whole plane, and me, a big aviation enthusiast, it's nice to walk the whole plane, get a few pictures and video. If you know me, I take a lot of pictures on these trips, and I'm talking about thousands. And some people are like, Dave, what are you doing? But yeah, it took a lot of pictures. Usually, historically, now I take a lot of video instead. So I have that for you to share. Records and everything, and just sharing my insights on travel and aviation there with that content, which I haven't put out, but I have a lot of that over the years, which I need to get out there. And usually what I do, if you ever seen my photos on Flickr, and on Wikimedia Commons, they're available. Creative Commons license, you can use it for any commercial use. Just got to attribute it to me the way I ask in the description on those places. But I have some photos out there you can see, and they people have actually that's been used out there. You'll see my photos on Inside the Magic Walt Disney World, and a bunch of other aviation sites too. My Delta 8319 and Southwest 737-800 photos actually I use quite a bit out there if you take a look at them. Sidetrack on that, back to here now. So continue on, I went back to check and found that yes, the only available ticket is a Y class ticket, which as you can see is very expensive ticket. This is one-way price, $1,551 Delta main cabin ticket. This is a top of the line Y class fare, which is very rare to be available anyways, because that means it's like sold out. And as you can see here, Delta main classic Y class fare. Same with the second leg, Salt Lake City to Las Vegas, Y class. So I got a Y. When you change, as you can see, I got a Y class ticket. So I bumped from V to Y, which is overall, I think it's number 6 in the order, or if you go and include first class and things, but number 1 in the main cabin economy. So that was pretty cool. I thought. I went back and looked at some other flights, and they had lower classes, but I could not make a same day change on those. I actually wanted to change to one of the 10:40 a.m. arrivals, which would have put me on an Airbus A330, which is nice wide body plane. You don't get to fly a wide body plane a lot in the continental U.S. So I've been on this plane once and got actually upgraded um, to what is it called now? I kind of forget. A premium, uh, you know, section, which is designated as Comfort Plus, I believe, on domestic, but on international it's Delta Premium. And got to sit there. Haven't sat up front on the first class section or Delta 1 section. This has the lie flat seats. They're the older ones, but I did one time get to fly A330-900, which is a Neo, basically version of this plane, and that has actually the suites. Very nice. But I was going to try to same day standby on this flight, and as you can see, though, probably a good thing I didn't have to do this because the seats at the last minute really started getting booked, and barely any seats left, so it's been very probably difficult to stand by on that flight with no confirmed ticket. So I'm glad when I got that. However, probably talk about that later, but I went back and to check if I could change again, and you could see it's available all of a sudden when it wasn't. If you want to learn more about why that is, message me, get in contact with me. I could tell you. I won't tell you here because it's a little interesting that found this. So just let me know. You can send me a message on any of the platforms I'm at. I'm pretty easy to contact. Me talking here online. I like to connect with everyone I can, and happy to discuss more if you want to hear about this right here. But it was a good trip, busy trip. I usually like those condensed short trips that just nonstop going because I got a lot of other stuff to do. But also, it's kind of weird being out of the office, and sometimes with all the stuff going on. So nice to get a trip out to Las Vegas. NAB Show was great, and obviously a big show. West, North, and Central Halls in Las Vegas Convention Center. If you've been to Las Vegas Convention Center, it's a big convention center. Probably in my opinion, the best convention center in the U.S. Orlando second. Sorry, I had to, my home state and home Central Florida. I had to give Orlando second. It's hard to beat Las Vegas Convention Center. I mean, Las Vegas is now kind of the convention capital of the world, and so I was there, and thanks to Delta, same day confirmed. I got there early, and in my other video you may have seen, I got to go to WrestleMania. Bought the ticket right after I got the same day confirmed, and actually WrestleMania tickets declined on the secondary market, so I got a pretty good deal for a ticket, and it was interesting to see that. And obviously it's the Super Bowl of wrestling. Not a wrestling expert by any means, but it was interesting to step into a different arena, we'll call it, and get to see that, and also on the ground in the independent circuit, they call it, and it's interesting there. Well, that's it. I don't want to continue talking about other stuff, which I can talk about in another video. So I hope that brought some insight to you. As you can see, Delta same day confirmed this, not strictly based on the exact fare class. You could potentially get same day confirmed on some other flight with that only has a higher fare class available, so keep an eye out for that. I want to thank Delta for allowing me to same day confirm on that earlier flight. It was great. Did get a little delayed flight out of Salt Lake. It was delayed out of Salt Lake City to Las Vegas about 40 minutes due to traffic control, flow control program to Las Vegas due to wind and demand there. But it was a really nice landing, which you got to see. Came in from the south and got the nice view of the strip on landing with Goodyear blimp in the background. Another cool thing to see, the Goodyear blimp. Saw that last year out in Oshkosh. Well, that's it. I hope you found this insightful. If you've done same day confirmed or same day standby, actually, if you've done same day standby and you have some insights you want to share, let me know. Let us know in the comments, wherever that's at, or send me a message. Yeah, first time I done this. Usually, I always just stick with the ticket I got and don't make any changes, other than when I get tapped to make a change because of some equipment issue, which is aircraft issue and flight got canceled, or weather issue, which I've done many times in the past on Delta. And I give credit to their call center teams. I have actually not had one really bad interaction with the call center teams. And in a big airline, it's tough for that to have at least one bad experience, and I haven't. So thanks to Delta on that, and I'll talk to you in the next video, more on the trip, probably day 2. And that's it. Other than that, this video should be coming out here on the weekend, and wishing you a good weekend if I don't see you in the next video or in person. Bye for now.